So we did ankle picks and then Kouchi Gari into single leg. So Kouchi Gari is, we started with double lapels. You do a small step with your left foot and then pull him toward you with your right hand. What you want is his stance to be flat, and you want yourself to have right foot forward slightly. And then you bring your left foot into your right foot, and then your right foot behind his left foot, behind his right foot. Then you don't want your foot flat on the ground. You want like your heels to be on the ground and like toes kind of coming up a little bit. And the point is, and then you want to like give him a little push. You don't necessarily need to like completely off balance him. It'll feel more unbalanced for him because your foot is there behind his foot. So what that will cause him to do is pick his foot up. If you have your foot flat, then he'll just ride his foot over yours. But if your foot is like cocked up, then he'll have to pick up his foot. So when he picks up his foot or his leg, that's when you shoot your left hand in, left arm in, elbow deep to get the single leg. And then you just do the normal single leg. So then one other detail I noticed when I was doing the single leg, Tim always says do the single leg, like move your head from the shoulder to the hip and then put them in the hole. So what most people do, and what I do a lot of the times, is I am going diagonally down, like my head is going diagonal. I'm sort of using centrifugal force to pull him down. But you actually want it to be more vertical. And this goes back to yesterday when Jason was talking about guard pulling, is when you are pulling guard, you want to pull sideways because you want to use that momentum to off balance your opponent. So when you're on the other side, right, when you are sitting him down, you do not want him to be penduluming you across because that pulls you to the side. So I noticed that when people bring me down on the side, on the single leg, that when they swing me down, I'm not even trying to pull them down, but I'm like pulling them down on top of me. And when I'm sitting people down when I'm doing the single leg, I'm most off balance when I am swinging them across rather than putting them straight down. I think one thing you have to watch out for is that if you do put them straight down, you don't want them to like be able to overhead you either. So there's like a little bit of nuance there. Then after that, we worked on side control. Tim likes the hand behind the head to grip the collar with the thumb in rather than getting like the elbow of justice in. He likes the arm going across, gripping the elbow and keeping it tight, and then kind of riding out any of the the bridges out. Keep your weight on top, stay on your feet or your toes, and then we worked on switching to knee on belly. So in this case, you kind of want to catch them when they're coming down from the bridge, so they can't exert upward pressure while you're doing this. So you bring your lower arm, you want to gooseneck grip their hip or the side of their chest or lower chest, like above the hip, and then you bring your knee up or shin, and you want the weight on his hips. You want to be low on his chest, or on his torso, so he can't bridge away. You have a lot more weight. Though I've seen people also say that you should put it on like the sternum so that it's harder for them to breathe. So I'm not 100% sure of that. I have to tinker around with that. One other thing is the toes on the knee going across the belly should not be on the ground. If they're on the ground, it means there's less weight on your opponent, and it also means you're less maneuverable. And then another point is the supporting leg needs to be away from the body. It should not be near the head because he can underarm scoop it. I notice Tim has his knee pointing toward the sky with that leg. I think that allows you to push off the ground into and put weight into the opponent. So that is the knee on belly position, and from there you can ride out any sort of bridging or anything that he's doing. You want to stay nimble and just stay dynamic, and then we transition to a kimura. So your knee on belly, he pushes against your knee, in which case there'll be a gap on his far arm. So with your lower arm, so let's say you're on his right side, so your lower arm would be your right arm. With that arm, you scoop his bicep, you go through the armpit, through the armpit, you scoop the bicep. You just want to scoop the bicep, you don't want to go all the way through. Pull up so he's on his side, then post on his neck with your left hand, and you want to step your foot around to the other side, so you're in a knee pinch. Tim likes having the leg that's on his front side, his anterior side, to be up. So your left knee is down and your right knee is up. You're on your foot on the right knee and you're on your knee on the left side. So you still have the bicep in your right hand, so you want to switch hands, so you are controlling his left arm with your right hand. So you bring your left arm under his armpit, and yes, bring there. Then you grab his left wrist with your right hand, and then with your left hand that's under his arm, you grab your right wrist. You don't want to use your thumbs, so this is a kimura grip. And then you want to break, so he'll probably grab his other hand with the hand that you're attacking, with like a S grip or a gable grip. So you want to break that. You break that by going toward his back and sort of up. You can brace his arm against your right knee. I think that's why Tim likes to have it up, is so that it's like a stable post that you can brace his arm against it. And then he distinguishes between an elbow kimura and a shoulder kimura. So what I have always done is a shoulder kimura, so in this case you want to bend the elbow and then you want to torque the arm. You want to use the forearm as a lever to rotate the shoulder. So you want the arm bent. So Tim says that is the shoulder is usually a looser joint, so you would have to exert more pressure to get a tap. So he likes going for the elbow kimura, where I'm still not 100% sure how it works. But in this case, the arm is straight and you are wringing his forearm. So I think you're bringing your right hand down, like pronating it, I think, and your left hand rotating up. So you're raising your left elbow, lowering your right wrist, lowering your right wrist, and raising your right elbow, something like that. But that is also something to play with. yeah, so that's it. And then in rolls, triangle, I got to figure out which side's on top of the other because that's just a mess. And then I was rolling this guy Ed. He said he got me in a triangle actually, and I was like kind of conceding that he had a triangle. So when you're in a triangle, you want to reach up and grab the lapel to prevent him from squaring up, or from cutting the angle, and then you want to posture up and stack him. So I was doing that, and he said like he hadn't locked his legs yet. So what I should have done was posture up and try to break out of the triangle because it wasn't locked in. And at the least, if I posture up, then I might be able to get enough space between his legs to get the other arm in or to get the trapped arm out. Yeah, so I have to think about that.